What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing week 4 predictions for the 2018 through 2019 NFL season. Real quick, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Also, quick announcement, I probably will be going live for the Giants versus Saints game, 4:25 Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what that would be. I think Central it would be 3:25 and so on and so forth. Mountain Time is 2:25, and I think that's how it works. Okay, whatever it is, I'm gonna try to go live. Quickly follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna start using my Twitter. I made it and I just never use it, but I'm gonna start using my Twitter so you guys know when I'm gonna post a video, what's planned for my videos, and if you guys just want to talk to me there, you guys can talk to me there. So, and if I'm going live, I'll announce it on there as well. So, real quick, follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description. I'll put that in the description too. And let's move on to the week 4 predictions. Alright, so Thursday Night Football, we have a great game, and I'm excited to watch this game. Thursday Night Football, I looked at the schedule for Thursday Night Football. You got some good games lined up, and it's not just garbage division rivals. Like, who wants to watch, like, the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars? Like, that's not what you want to see Thursday Night Football, but they got some really good rivalries there. I don't... Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the rivalries off the top of my head, but we got some good games. Not just rivalries, but just they put in place games that we know we want to watch, like the Vikings at the Rams. I mean, these two teams. A lot of people thought these two teams would meet up in the NFC Championship game, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. But you know, we get a chance to see what that's going to look like if that does happen this year as well, because these two teams are on fire. Besides the Vikings, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but. Thursday Night Football, you have the Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Rams, and the Los Angeles Rams are getting a 6.5 point advantage right now on the betting line over Minnesota. They're getting 6.5 points. I think that's a little too much. I think Vegas is over exaggerating with what they saw last week. I know it was the Buffalo Bills. Right now they're playing like one of the worst teams in the NFL, starting with the quarterback position, and Josh Allen just completely lit it up on that Minnesota defense, who was supposed to be the best defense in the NFL, right next to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So when you look at the Minnesota Vikings, do you think they're going to get blown out by the Rams? Do you think they're going to keep up with the Rams? I think they're going to keep up with the Rams. I'm not going to say that the Minnesota Vikings are automatically a bad team now because they lost this game to the Buffalo Bills. You look at the New England Patriots just last week. They just lost to a very bad Detroit Lions team, and in which Kerryon Johnson, I believe it was his first time running it was the first time a Lions player ran for 100 yards since Reggie Bush in 2013. It finally happened. I've been saying this for like years now, that the Lions need to find themselves a 100-yard rusher, and they found one in Kerryon Johnson, but that's besides the point. Minnesota lost to Buffalo that was a bad loss. New England lost to Detroit in a bad loss. So is it fair to completely bring the Vikings out of this game? No, it's not. So I'm going to give the Rams to win this game. I would have thought the Rams would have won this game anyway. I think they have a better offense. They don't have a better defense, but they just have a more balanced team in place. So I'm going to pick the Rams to win this game 24-20, but I'm going to take Minnesota with the points, obviously, plus 6.5. I just think that's a little bit too much of a spread for these two talented teams. I think they're going to battle it out against each other. All right, we move on to the regular Sunday games, 1 o'clock. Bengals at the Falcons. I think the Bengals are actually looking pretty good this year. They're looking a lot better than what I thought they would last year around the offseason. I thought the Bengals would be just a decent team, 7-9, 8-8. 8-8 type of team, but I think they're really good, and I think they might take a playoff push this year in their division, because I know the Ravens, they look good from the start. They still look good now, and that's probably the team that they're going to be keeping up with the most. Steelers don't look all that good right now, even though they're putting up some points, but the Steelers look like frauds to me. And then the Browns are getting there, but they're not going to be in the race to win the division. So the Bengals really have it all for themselves right now, but against the Falcons, I think that it's a little too fast paced. I think they can win this game. The Falcons are dealing with a lot of injuries, including their two starting safeties in Keanu Neal and Ricardo Allen. Both of those two safeties are out. I think I don't know who they're replaced by. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know who they're replaced by, but those are two significant losses that you can't. It's going to be hard to replace. So the back end of their defense is at a huge disadvantage. And you remember you have a burner in John Ross at receiver, and you got Tyler Boyd as well. And you have A.J. Green. You can't forget about A.J. Green, who can definitely stretch the ball down the field. So it's going to be a tough battle for these Atlanta Falcons cornerbacks because they're not going to get very much help on the back end of the defense and the safeties. So we'll see what happens. This can go very bad for the Falcons very quickly, but it also can, with the Bengals offense, hopefully they can keep up with that. But I think the Falcons are just going to win. They're just too high-powered right now. Calvin Ridley is just firing right now at receiver. So I'm going to have the Falcons winning 31-24. Take Atlanta -5.5. The Buccaneers at the Bears. This is what I've been thinking about for like 15 minutes. I was thinking about it for like 15 minutes. The Bucs. You look at the Bucs. You know, after what we saw last week, they lost to a decent Steelers team. Yes. But the Steelers, I mean, that was their first win this season. And the Steelers are just consistently inconsistent with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, this is his third consecutive game he threw for over 400 yards. I mean, that is ridiculous. At one point, it has to end. And will it be this week? Who knows? Will it be next week? Who knows? But obviously that's not going to last forever. And I don't know if they're bringing back Jameis Winston this week. I heard that Ryan Fitzpatrick is still going to start, but we'll see what happens. I don't know if Jameis Winston is back. I think he was suspended for 4 games, so I think he has week 5 he comes back. You know, you look at the Buccaneers right now. What are they going to put out on the field? You know, Ryan Fitzpatrick threw some terrible interceptions on Monday night. I mean, they were so bad. Those were one of the worst throws I've ever seen. But I didn't watch the rest of the game. I couldn't watch the rest of the game. But they came back, obviously, 30-27. He still threw for over 400 yards. So I don't know what to expect from the Buccaneers. I really don't know. Their defense isn't all that good. Their offense is what's keeping them in these games. Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans are great. Their running game, I don't think is all that. I mean, Peyton Barber was looking good when I was watching him Monday night. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from the Buccaneers and the Bears as well. I mean, they're one of those teams that the Bears are going to win games by a hair, and they've been doing that so far. I mean, they beat the Cardinals 16-14 in a tough game. They came back from a 14-point deficit and they won. They scored 16 unanswered points. But what are we going to expect from the Bears as well? I mean, they're one of those teams that are just going to barely win games this year. I don't see any team that they're going to blow out right now on their schedule, you know, if they play anybody like that. I don't think anybody's going to get blown out by the Chicago Bears. So I'm going to have the Bears winning this game 20-17. Don't be surprised if the Bucs win this game, but I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick is throwing for 400 yards on this defense. There's just too much pressure there. I think it'll be too much for that Bucs O-line to handle. The Steelers were giving them the business, and I think the Bears have a much better front seven. So, anyway, moving on. Oh, yeah, take Chicago -3, Bears 20-17. Lions at the Cowboys. This is a must-win for the Cowboys. If the Cowboys lose this game, they're pretty much out of it right now. I mean, as far as their playoff hopes, because they're just continuing down this downward slope of bad offense, and their defense is actually not bad. You have to give it to their defense. It's not bad. They're keeping them in these games. It's just that the offense is Dak Prescott. It just can't move the ball down the field. Granted, he did that against the Giants, not very much, but he was able to still win the game. But you know, as far as Dak Prescott is going right now, it's not looking good. Those receivers are bad. They need to get somebody on that receiving core because they're not good. They're dropping balls everywhere. The O-line isn't what it was, and it is what it is. They don't have a formidable tight end. They don't have a viable tight end. So it's going to be a problem for a while, Dak Prescott in that offense. So something needs to change real quick. We'll see if that happens with the Detroit Lions, but I could see that I'm going to have the Cowboys winning, but I could see the Lions winning. I'm going to have the Cowboys winning 20-16, take Dallas -3. The Bills at the Packers. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to over-exaggerate since the Packers just lost to the Redskins and the Bills just blew out the Minnesota Vikings, but I do not have the Bills beating the Packers. I'm going to have the Packers winning at home at Lambeau Field. I don't think the Bills are going to be some hot stuff just because Josh Allen is starting now. So I'm going to have the Packers winning 30-17. Take Green Bay minus 9.5. The Eagles at the Titans. The Titans, I don't know if they're going to have Marcus Mariota. He's still dealing with that hand issue. He was able to finish off the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars in that boring 9-6 game. But is Marcus Mariota going to be playing? Is Blaine Gabbert? I don't know how long Blaine Gabbert. I think he got evaluated for concussion. Correct me if I'm wrong. But who knows who's going to be at quarterback, whatever. The Titans defense is very good. I still think it's very good. They held up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but their offense is not very good. So we'll see what happens with the Eagles. But as far as the Eagles and the Titans go, I think the Eagles are going to win either way. And the only way the Titans are really going to win this game is if the offense goes off, if the offense finally gets it together. But I don't see that happening right now against the Eagles, who are playing pretty good defense. We'll see how it goes on the road, but I think the Eagles will be fine. So the Eagles, I have them winning 23-13. Take Philadelphia -4. The Texans at the Colts. You know what? I'm gonna have the Texans getting their first win here. I just think I can't see the Texans going 0-4. I think this is too much of a talented team. J.J. Watt is finally healthy, and they can't win a game. Jadeveon, I think did Jadeveon Clowney play? He didn't play against the Giants. I don't believe he did. I didn't see him on the field. If he did, he was very silent. And then the Texan defense is okay. Their secondary isn't very good. I like their front seven. Their secondary isn't very good, in my opinion. Tyrann Mathieu is probably the only exception there. Jonathan Joseph is older. Kareem Jackson is older. I don't know if Kevin Johnson is still there or if he's injured or whatever the deal is with Kevin Johnson. And then the Houston offense, who was, before Deshaun Watson got injured last year, was completely on fire. It is the opposite now, but they have to get something together. You have a very good quarterback. I think Deshaun Watson could be a very good quarterback in this league. And then, DeAndre Hopkins, who's arguably top 4, top 3 in this league. Or top 5 wide receivers in this league. Will Fuller at receiver. Lamar Miller is not doing much. Alfred Blue wasn't doing much. You got Deontay Foreman out for the year. So, but still, I think the Houston offense has to get something together. I don't think they're that bad. Their record of 0-3 isn't telling you what that team is. I think it's a decent team, and I know the Colts usually put a beat down on the Texans, especially with Andrew Luck at starting, but I think Andrew Luck is still dealing with his arm issues, and I think they're gonna try to put up points. It's just gonna be a rivalry game between the Texans and the Colts, but I'm gonna have the Texans winning this game 27-21. I may be wrong, but I'm just gonna take a shot. So the Indianapolis Colts are favored by 1. I'm gonna have Houston +1, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. The Dolphins at the Patriots. I think 6.5 points for the Patriots is a little too much. You just seen the Patriots completely get demolished by the Detroit Lions. I get it. Matt Patricia was visiting his old team and his father, Bill Belichick, and he completely dominated his father. And it was obvious. I think I had an idea. I mean, I was having an idea that Matt Patricia would beat Tom Brady because he's the only person that's been facing Tom Brady all these years. He's the only person that probably knows how to defeat Tom Brady. So, with that being said, the Lions shouldn't be regarded as a really good team, and they still beat the Patriots. So the Dolphins, they've been playing them for a couple years. Every time the Dolphins play the Patriots, they always play each other tough. I know that this is at Gillette Stadium, but I'm still going to have the New England Patriots winning this game, but expect the Miami Dolphins to keep it a little close, if not win the game. So I'm going to have the Patriots winning 20-19, take Miami +6.5. The Jets at the Jaguars. The Jaguars are favored by a whole 7.5 points, which is very peculiar. This doesn't make sense, being that the Jacksonville Jaguars scored a total of 6 points last week against the Tennessee Titans. That is less than what they are favored by. They're favored by 7.5 points. Can the Jacksonville Jaguars even put up points against the New York Jets? I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will win the game, but will they put up enough points? Will they put up a lot of points? I could see this being like a 10-7 type game, just because that the Jets defense is no joke this year. Darren Lee is having a really good year. The secondary is having a good year. I mean, that front seven is looking good as well. I mean, that whole defense is looking good. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've always had a good defense. So this is definitely going to be a defensive game. Sam Darnold will be tested. Blake Bortles, he's tested every week. So we'll see what happens with Blake Bortles, and their offense is very good. So I don't see this being a high-scoring game. If it's high-scoring, I could see it being in the Jets' favor. I'll be completely honest. I don't know if the Jaguars are going to put up a lot of points. I know they put up a lot of points against the New England Patriots, but the New England Patriots has shown that they can be weak. So I'm going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning the game, but I can't see it being a really high-scoring game. Like I said, it could be a 10-7 game, but I'm going to have it being 17-13. Jaguars take the Jets plus 7.5. Browns at the Raiders. Can the Browns get a win streak? Not only get their first win like they did last week against the New York Jets. With Baker Mayfield at under center, can they get another win? Can they get a 2-win streak? Is that a little too much to ask for or from the Cleveland Browns? And I think it may just be the Raiders have not gotten a win yet. They've been so close every single game they played. They've been so close to getting a win. They either had an early lead. When they played the Rams, they had a 7-point lead or 13-point lead or something like that. And then they from there on, the Rams took over. And then you look at the Broncos game. The Broncos were down a good 14 points, or if not more. And the Broncos came back to win that game like 20-19 or something like that. And then you look at this game against the Dolphins. The Raiders were up in this game as well. And the Dolphins came back to win this game. So, you know, when it comes to John Gruden, I think he knows how to play the game in the beginning, but they struggle to score points in the second half. That's just a problem for the Raiders right now. So when it comes to the Browns, can the Browns not only get a lead early, because I think the Raiders will get the lead early, but can the Browns get a lead early and then keep that lead? Same question obviously for the Raiders. Can they get a lead early and then keep that lead? I think they can against the Cleveland Browns. I know Baker Mayfield is looking really good, but we'll see how he plays when he plays a whole game. So I'm actually looking forward to this game. I know these are two considerably bad teams, but I'm going to take the Raiders to win this game 23-20. Take Oakland minus 2.5. The Seahawks at the Cardinals. This could be a very low-scoring game. The Seahawks aren't what they used to be. Obviously, we've seen that already. I mean, they did put the Dallas Cowboys in their place, but I'm going to have the Seahawks winning this game against the Cardinals. The Cardinals need to figure something out because David Johnson needs some more touches or something like that. I mean, they're not blocking for David Johnson. I mean, that's the only way you're going to put up points on the board. Josh Rosen is getting his first start against a division rival, so this is going to be a challenge for him. We'll see what happens. That Cardinals offense is just anemic. You would have thought the Giants offense was bad before Saquon Barkley. I mean, the Cardinals offense, I mean, you gotta just rejoice when they score a touchdown, because it's not gonna happen very often. So, or rejoice when they get over 10 points. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have the Seahawks winning this game 17-7. Expect a very bad game from the lowest scoring team in the NFL right now, in the Arizona Cardinals. I have the Seattle Seahawks winning. Like I said, take them with the spread as well. So Seattle minus 3. The Saints at the Giants. Now, I'm going to have a preview video, don't worry, on this game. I have a preview video up soon. And I think the Giants can win this game. The only way we can win this game is if we keep up with the New Orleans offense. I think the Giants defense can be fine. I think the most that they're going to let up to the Saints is like 31 points. Usually, no matter what our team is, no matter how good one's team is, when Drew Brees and Eli Manning face off, it's always just a shootout. So we'll see what happens. I mean, last time they faced, we won 16-13. Last time we faced them in, like, I think 2015. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 2015. We faced the Saints. We lost, like, it was like 52-49 or something like that. And the only way we lost because it was a muffed punt by our punter. So I mean, as far as this game goes, it's going to be very tight. Who knows if it's going to be very tight defensively or if it's going to be very tight offensively. But either way, this is going to be a very tight game. I'm going to have the Giants covering the spread. Who knows if they're going to win? But I'm going to have them covering the 3.5 point spread. I'm going to have the Saints winning 27-24. Take the Giants plus 3.5. The 49ers at the Chargers. The Chargers are red hot right now as far as their offense goes. Mike Williams, coming back from his injury-plagued rookie season, is looking really good this year. Perfect complement for Keenan Allen. If not, Keenan Allen may just wind up being the complement for Mike Williams. So we'll see what happens there. Phillip Rivers still looking good. That defense for the Chargers is letting up a lot of points, but they're still hanging in there. When it comes to the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo is out for the year. So you got second-year guy, I think his name is C.J. Beathard. Correct me if I'm wrong. C.J. Beathard, I believe is his name. But second-year man out of Iowa, I believe. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know too much about C.J. Beathard, but if that's even his name, whatever. But he is starting now that Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt. The good thing is that Beathard has started for the 49ers before, when Jimmy Garoppolo was still on the Patriots as a backup for Tom Brady. C.J. Beathard was the starting quarterback until he came in. So at least he has some familiarity with starting games and starting them, finishing them, so on and so forth. He did also beat the Giants last year. Yeah, that's bad. But yeah, he did wind up beating the Giants. But as far as this goes, I think the Chargers are too fast-paced on offense. Austin Eckler is looking like a really good running back right now. Perfect complement for Melvin Gordon. The Chargers, I'll have them winning 31-16. Take the Chargers minus 10.5. Sunday Night Football, we got the Ravens at the Steelers. Very good game to watch. I'm going to be excited. I love watching AFC North matchups. But when it comes to the Steelers, who knows what we're going to see. You know, if the Steelers are going to fire off on offense or whatever it is, they're going to get exposed on defense, The Ravens are looking good, but just because it's at home, I'm going to have the Steelers winning the game. I'm going to have them winning 28-23. Take Pittsburgh minus 3. Monday Night Football, you got the Chiefs at the Broncos, and I don't think, oh my God, my mic almost fell. I don't think the Broncos are going to have much of a chance in this game. I think Kansas City, the only way I see Kansas City winning this game is if Patrick Mahomes is like camera shy, if he's like Andy Dalton in primetime games. This is a Monday Night Football game. I think this is his first primetime game starting, so I don't know what we're going to see from Patrick Mahomes, but so far he's been a freaking Madden character. I mean, the guy has like 896 yards passing right now, like 10 touchdowns. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's right now in the lead as far as Rookie of the Year goes. So definitely in my book, he's definitely a Rookie of the Year right now, and that's another Chiefs player who could be Rookie of the Year. I mean, Kareem Hunt was Rookie of the Year last year, so oh no, he wasn't. Kareem Hunt wasn't Rookie of the Year. It was Calvin Kamara. So anyway, but yeah, and the teams on bye this week are the Washington Redskins and the Carolina Panthers. That's all I got for you guys today. Oh, by the way, last week I went 25-21-2. For those of you who are still watching, who cares? And against the spread, I went 20-27-1. Everything's in the description below. So, like I said, I probably will be going live for the Giants versus Saints game because everybody's doing it, and I'm a follower. So, anyway, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you guys in the next video.